This morning, Morris Saffer is here from Saffer Retail. He's going to be joining us on stage in just a little while to start the discussion by talking about the importance of those factors and the disruption and the speed of change in retail. In particular, we're going to talk about the evolution away from our dear old metric sales per square foot to the new experiences per square foot, which is really redefining how we drive this business and part of why retail is thriving. Please put your hands together and please welcome Morris to the stage.
Thanks. Okay. Welcome, everybody. I'm not going to talk about anything that you talked about. It's not going to happen. You hear a lot about clicks and bricks, bricks and mortar, experience, frictionless, all that stuff. Your heads are right now reeling about what the heck do we do next. Well, I'm here to tell you it doesn't matter. You don't have to know any of that stuff at all, because actual fact, it's not about clicks or bricks or experience or frictionless. It's about love. And that's the situation, a subject I know a lot about. In fact, I could be called an expert. For the most part, the problem has been not technology, not data. You got lots of that. The problem has been that retailers have just lost that loving feeling. It just became too hard. Everybody began worrying about what they had to do structurally and with data and with everything in the world to worry about, and they forgot about the feeling. And retail has always been about love. So today's presentation is not about experience, not about frictionless. It's about how to return the romantic relationship to retail. And I'm sure all of you in the room are experts in this, so it should be quite easy to do this. Now, retail was built on romance. I love it is probably the expression most spoken in any retail store at any retail time prior to the sale. I just love it. I just got to have it. I love it. And that was the whole concept. The great Stanley Marcuses, the original retailers of North America, of the world, loved the merchandise and loved the customers and create that relationship. And it was all about something really important, like buying that new blouse, like that new sweater that you just loved. And that was it. That was it. It's still all about that, but you kind of forgot about it. So the love of shopping remains in the hearts of people, and it's an important part of their psyche. They're just not as faithful as before. But the good news is, there's an app for that. There's an app for love, and you can download it before you leave today. Sephora gets that. They've got the Love app, and they've integrated it right into their stores, and you cannot go into a Sephora, actually you can't get in there because it's so busy, without them facial recognition, without their AI, and they know once you've bought your product, they know for life what you've bought. But more importantly, their new Visual Artist app allows you from home at any time to try on any shade you like from the app right there. And 200 million shades have been tried on at home since it was launched last year. So now once you've launched it, once you've tried it on, once you see it, you walk in the store, they recognize you, and they say, "Welcome back, Morris," because I use the product all the time. And they say, "Did you enjoy the Dior soft shade?" And yes, I did actually. It was quite good. And that business, as in Yorkdale on Sunday, and the whole of the Bay main floor is being turned into a cosmetics floor. It's exquisite. Very few people in there. Sephora was lined up out of the store. It was just a zoo, and everybody was really enjoying themselves. Everybody felt beautiful, loved themselves, and as Justin Bieber says, if you love yourself, then it works. You can just go ahead and love yourself. So the thing is, Sephora's got the loving feeling. They know how to use it. They know how to make it work. And all the technology is there to stimulate the romance. It's not there to be seen in charts and all these sorts of different levels of intellectual discussion. So making data, making technology stimulate and simulate intimacy is what I'm talking about today. Because without the relationship with the customer, nothing works. It's not worth it. It won't sustain. Now, the room from who was on Marx with Marx earlier. You were on with Marx, yes. So, Optimum and Triangle are two great programs that have evolved. You will understand and I've watched I was at Home Hardware's agency for the last 40 years. So we watched Canadian Tire struggle with how to go from Canadian Tire money to a loyalty program. And it took a long time to get it right. The objective of a loyalty program is not loyalty, it's the relationship. And that, again, is something which it's taken a long time for people to kind of understand. The value of a relationship program is that you have a relationship with somebody and you know that person. That's what a relationship is. I know her, I know him, and I know his weaknesses, her weaknesses, what she likes, what she doesn't like. That's what a relationship is. That's what a relationship program is. That's what a loyalty program is. And as the major retailers struggled with all of this, finally they began to realize that when you got the email saying, hey, Morris, you need your vitamins replenished, and here's a coupon off it. I said, they know I need the vitamins. That's really great. And they know I'm prepared to get a price off, and that's great. So knowing, in fact, I was speaking to somebody at one point, and they said, I'm getting really annoyed at this company now because they know me. I'm on the loyalty plan. They know all these things. And they sent me a coupon that they'd already sent me last week. So now the customer's getting into the relationship, but you now have a responsibility to keep that relationship alive. And so that's a really, as I said, it took a long time for the PC Optimums and the Triangles to get it right. And it's still not, it's a work in progress, but it's the right direction that's building relationship. It's not just the points. It's not just reward. The rewards have to be relevant. And that's really been a struggle for most retailers. And again, contrary to anything that's been said this morning, friction doesn't destroy relationships. Irritation does. Now, everybody in this room has a significant other who irritates them all or some of the time. Depending on the level of irritation depends upon the length of the relationship. And as half the marriages in North America end in divorce, I can tell you, as half the marriages in North America end in divorce, there's a lot of irritation out there already. You don't need to add any more. So irritation can be eliminated once you know what it is. And one of the issues that I've tried to pursue my whole career is the first question I would ask a new client is, okay, what irritates your customers most about you? And if they don't know, we find out right away. Because that will be the absolute most critical question to ask Google than any other. And you have to know. If you don't know, now McDonald's, I won't go into all the details here of what McDonald's did, but McDonald's had an enormous sales problem 3-4 years ago. Sales were dropping drastically. They just couldn't figure out what was wrong. And what they ended up figuring out wrong was people had just got annoyed and couldn't take it anymore. They were mad as hell and couldn't take it. The lineups, the time it took them to get things done, everything like that, it wasn't the food, actually. People loved the food, but they just couldn't stand the process. And the process was just annoying them. And there were other choices, by the way. There was another fast food store around the corner. So they stopped going there. And McDonald's has spent billions upon billions to introduce these order stands in the store to streamline the whole process and has turned it all around. They had to address the irritation first. And the best and most wonderful example is Starbucks. Everybody here goes to Starbucks, I'm sure. Everybody has, I'm sure, had an irritating moment at Starbucks. And one of them is, I go there every morning, I get the same thing every morning, I pay for it, yet I have to line up and I'm frustrated, wait for the barista to do it, the whole thing. It's just annoying. I love it, but you know what? There's Tim Hortons, there's Second Cup, there's 1,000 new little places opening up. I'm switching. And Starbucks sales really started to crater. Now, they didn't panic. They asked their customers what was irritating them. I'm just paraphrasing, but that's exactly what happened. And they found out there were 3 things that absolutely destroyed or irritated their customers. One was the lineups. You heard it before. The other one was, I order the same personalized drink order every morning. Why do I have to tell them? You know, I have to repeat the same thing. I double this and that and almond milk and all, you know, the whole thing. Plus, it takes me time to pay, though. It's crazy. So they come up with this app, a loyalty app, with all of these irritations eliminated. And call in, I order on my mobile app, I get my exact personalized drink, I pay for it, I walk in, and I walk out. Okay, that's it. So the mobile order, pick up here, boom, out, finished. Almost all of our same-store sales growth has come from customers that we have a digital relationship with. That one decision to make the reward based upon the irritating points. Don't worry about reward points. Don't worry about going trips to anywhere. Don't worry about Aeroplan or Air Miles. Look, I love Starbucks my way, but if you don't do my way, it's the highway. That is the almost case history of all case histories that could be applied to every one of you in this room. And it applies to every retailer, every organization. If you can identify the irritations, if you can address the irritations, you will maintain the relationship. Now, I come out of the home improvement business has been a very big part of my career. We've had clients like the Bay and a lot of others, but the bricks and mortar business has been very good to me. And I don't want to give any bad impressions that because there are millions and millions of customers around North America who still think bricks and mortar and wood and tile and appliances and paint are pretty sexy. And you can be in a room this big with people who renovate, and they'll give you some pretty emotional stories about what they went through and how important it is to their lives. It's your home, after all, so it is important. So home improvement can be pretty sexy. And once so what we had to figure out was how can we make it sexier? So robots are all the rage right now, so here's...
You want to make your home better. Our job is to help you. So we're building new tools that help our associates help you better. We partnered with fellow robots to bring you LOWESBOT. We spent close to 2 years honing LOWESBOT, and soon it'll be coming to select Lowe's stores to help you.
Hi, I'm looking for some paint.
Need to find something? LOWESBOT can show you, and in multiple languages. LOWESBOT also helps our team by constantly monitoring inventory, giving us daily feedback about what is in stock in the store. All of this allows our staff to focus on what they do best, helping you.
That's the beginning of an answer to the irritating big box problem of I can't find anybody. There's no one here to help me. And the economic reality of a big box is we can't sell you this product at this price and have any people. That just doesn't work. So you either have products at good prices and lots of them when you want them, or you have people. Take your choice. If you want people, we've got a place for you. It's Ace Hardware, 5,000 stores in the States that are doing very, very well. And our client in the last 40 years, Home Hardware, with 1,000 stores, still 30% of the market share. So the big boxes have 47% of the market share in the States, only about 30% in Canada, and Home Hardware has 13%. So they've been able to stay in the game. with helpful humans. Actual humans, not robots, that help you right away and have a relationship with you, know your name when you walk in the store. Astounding. And they know that the last thing you bought was a gallon of pink paint, not because it's on their mobile app, but because they actually remember. So on the other hand, Lowe's, Home Depot have now had to go to a lot of this technology you've heard about today, and that to be able to say on their little handheld mobile phone, oh, you bought pink paint last time. Okay? But they're all trying to be intimate with you. They're all trying to have the relationship. They're all trying to show you that they care. It just sometimes isn't quite as easy. But humans are still functioning, and they're still actually able to help you in stores. And it's still a big part of what makes retail work, which is a lot of the reasons why retail is still bricks and mortar, because it's human contact. And it still is, it hasn't been, I guess it's been modified to some degree, but we are all still somewhat the same people, and we've evolved to the point where we are nice and friendly. We do like helping people, and people like that. Now, we're in Google's building. We should talk about Google, I guess. But Google happens to be really good at helping you with relationships. They really are. They know everything. I mean, there's just not a single thing you can't ask them that they know. We know that. Know-it-alls. It's annoying at times. But they can help you build relationships with people at exactly the right time. And this is a really big part of retail. Time, okay? 79% of all renovations happen when you either buy or you sell a house. It's a really simple piece of information. So Google walks into our offices several years ago, and they tell us, we're buying Google, we're buying YouTube, we're buying all these things, we've got our ads going on, and we're doing pretty well. And they walk in two very smart 24-year-old girls and absolutely told me the way to the future. And it was a brilliant meeting. And so what this says is, why are you advertising like this and this? 79% are happening when people are buying and selling houses. Why don't we just click on the video on anybody who's looking for a house? And why don't we put our search words whenever they're looking for a house? And the sales results, obviously, were dramatically improved because we were happy to talking to them at the very moment they were interested in what they were interested in doing. And that's the beauty now of relationships. You can anticipate your significant other's emotions. Think how that would work. I know she's expecting flowers tonight. Okay, take them. So Google. Now, talk about timing. There are other issues in timing that are very critical. One reward for relationships is pregnancy. It happens. It turns out, actually, that Canadians are the most consistent baby creators in the world. We make an average of 380,000 babies a year and have done for the last decade. It's a factor. So when you have the facts about a relationship and how I would go into this relationship, you say, well, knowing this, why don't I open a store called Toys R Us or Babies R Us and have all of these people I can have relationships with at the very moment they are creating life, we can create a lifetime relationship. So forget it. There's a couple of people from Toys R Us in the room today. I want to tell you, forget about the bankruptcy. Forget about all that. It's all past. It's all financial stuff. It has nothing to do with customers. But you have, in my mind, the best relationship opportunity in Canada in retail today, which is to build this intimacy with parents at the very moment that they're going through this creation of life. It's just a magical, creative opportunity to build relationships. And I'll do anything I can to help you. And who knew, talking about pregnancy, that free shipping was such an aphrodisiac? But it was. Literally, free shipping changed the whole world that you're living in. Jeff Bezos, a banker from Wall Street, understood free shipping was the one way he could remove irritation from whatever. By the way, you should understand that Jeff Bezos got into the business because he saw that online shopping was growing at 2,000+% a year. He's a banker, he looks at that and says, that's a good number. And that was what kind of started him thinking about what he could do, et cetera, et cetera. The rest is history. But all of us bricks and mortar could look at the same information. We just didn't come up with Amazon. And Sears looked the other way. But the critical thing is that, again, you come to this relationship with customers. If they're loyal to you, but they'll move for free shipping, knowing it's critical because it gives you a competitive edge, okay. And while Amazon dominates commerce, it's only 5% of all retail, so it's not, eating the world alive. And the big battle really now is Amazon versus Walmart. Walmart is using technology to regain its love, to show its love and its strength. It's invested over $2 billion a year in the last 2 years to create new ways to Walmart, primarily to get the curbside pickup and to change the way that there are 5,000 stores, which were within 10 miles of every customer in North America, to use that as an advantage. So they sat still. In fact, it's hard to believe that Walmart used to use Amazon as a fulfillment service when they first got into e-commerce. So again, they're now saying, forget e-commerce as a battle on its own. They're fighting Amazon on its own basis, but no shipping fees. So if it's an irritant, we'll get rid of it. And then Amazon's purchase of Whole Foods was really annoying to Walmart. They said, they're not going to eat our lunch. This is too much, too late. Okay. They are the largest grocer in America, $170 billion. You're now playing on our terms, enough of this. And they have all this relationship with all these customers who love them, and suddenly they're going to let Amazon hit them? No. And so basically, they've just made the whole process of ordering online and picking up a store, again, without irritation. So they've taken out the irritation, and they put the money into getting rid of the irritation, and here's how they basically telling you about it.
He likes bread and butter. He likes toast and jam. That's what his baby feeds him. He's a loving man.
Well, I like bread and butter. I like toast and jam. That's what...
It's working. Sales up 4%. Brilliant. I mean, they're having an absolute great year. In fact, they just reported one of the best quarters ever. The stock went down immediately. But Amazon is not dead yet. They are fast becoming North America's number1 apparel retailer. They weren't satisfied with everything else. They want all the apparel. And over the last decade, they've actually taken a huge leap. They're now almost 8%, well, Walmart's 9%. But number 3 last year, but coming on, I should mention Prime Wardrobe is a big part of that. Prime Wardrobe, you're allowed to order 7 products, try what you like, don't like it, put it back in the same box, put the label on, send it back, just keep what you want. Same thing the department stores did 100 years ago, 50 years ago, saying, and the reason why they had the relationship with department stores, because women said, I can buy anything I like, don't like it, take it back. Amazon this year doing again. What irritates people, what stimulates people is key to understand to make it work. But finally, there's other alternatives, and one of them is TJ Maxx, Winners, Marshalls in Canada, who are making a virtue of the reality that the real love that women have, some men, in finding a treasure, finding a real great item off price. They're making
this holiday, experience the game-changing retail innovation we call offline shopping. Our cutting-edge human search engine uncovers hyper-real savings. Enjoy immediate multi-sensory feedback to discover the perfect gift. And take advantage of our instant add-to-cart technology. Plus, don't pay for shipping. There is no shipping. Save in real time all the time with offline shopping at Winners, HomeSense, and Marshalls, where you could win your gifts.
If all else fails, and you can't find a relationship based on an irritation, you can just overwhelm the customer with an absolute conspicuous show of wealth and go to the restoration hardware store, close one I guess is in Yorkdale. It's a wonderful experience. If you really don't fall in love with this or have a relationship with this store, I guess either you're not rich enough or necessarily committed to a singular lifestyle. So, to end, we know that your customers are seeing other stores. We know that they're irritated by things you're doing, and we know that if we address those irritations, we can keep the relationship alive. I am today asking you to go back and tell your CEO that they have to go back to school and become marriage counselors. They have to be the people that manage this relationship. You heard earlier several things about all the different segments of organization that are in retail companies. The operations, the merchandising, the marketing, the planning, you name it. Somebody has to bring these people together to serve the relationship. And someone has to be in charge of keeping that relationship and keeping the love alive. That is what retail is all about, to keep the relationship alive, to keep the love alive. And if you don't do that, then all of these other technological miracles that we have at our fingertips are not being harnessed for the right solution. And we have today, Google I mentioned, but the social media and mobile are made for romance. You're using it for romance all the time. It's made for that. Your ability to communicate is just magical. So now we have all the tools at our fingertips to create this romance alive, to reignite the romance. So go back to your companies and say, I want us to have, love-ins now. I want us to start really having a real emotional experience about this world we live in called retail, because it's all about the relationships. And all you need is love. And right now, there would have been the Beatles singing,
All you need is love.
hey, wonderful. Thank you very much.